On this blessed occasion of celebrating the 75th anniversary of Our Lady of Mercy Parish, I wish to offer you my prayerful best wishes and warm congratulations.
I had a blessing to serve this parish, Our Lady of Mercy, a few years ago. It is a great opportunity for us to look back with gratitude and look forward with hope and enthusiasm as we celebrate the 75th anniversary of this parish, a great community of faith.
In 1941, the Fathers of Mercy of New York were invited by Archbishop William Duke to establish a parish in the South Burnaby, New Westminster area. However, as there was no church building, Mass was held in the chapel of Providence St. Genevieve School, formerly St. Genevieve Orphanage, situated on 12th Street in New Westminster, between London and Edinburgh Streets, run by the Sisters of Charity of Providence. Land was purchased, and in August 1942, Father Charles Lacey applied for a permit to build a church. But due to wartime measures, the Advisory Committee of the BC Construction Control asked Father Lacey to consider building a temporary basement church to satisfy the spiritual needs of the parish. Fearing that such could only be a costly makeshift affair and reluctant to impose the financial burden of a completely furnished basement church, Father Lacey decided to delay building until conditions permitted the erection of a church in which nothing was wanting because of war shortages. Mass continued to be offered at St. Genevieve's, but 2 years later, with the great influx of Catholics into the area, Father Lacey finally acceded to the stipulations of the Board of Munitions and Supplies. And on April 15, 1944, ground was broken for a temporary church to be raised next to the rectory. Excitement mounted. Soon there would be a real church. Shortly after the groundbreaking, Father Lacey was recalled to New York, and Father Donald Morrison became pastor. Work on the church was at a standstill, and anxious parishioners looked dubiously at the unsightly whole, as construction difficulties had arisen over reinforcement of the church walls. The engineers ordered steel reinforcements for the building. This was not originally deemed necessary, and the resulting increase in cost rendered the original permit useless. Under the existing war conditions, the extension of the permit became a near impossibility, and after many wearied efforts on the part of the parishioners, the Department of Munitions and Supplies in Ottawa granted the permit. It may be fact or fiction, but as the story goes, materials had to be obtained, and there seems to be a gray area here as to how Father Morrison managed that. A 1967 BC Catholic story tells of an American Army mobile cement mixer that was diverted from the Alaska Highway to which it was en route. It took 1 day and 50 volunteers to pour the cement, but only after the machine had torn down the hydro lines and accidentally blacked out the neighborhood. Burnaby water pressure would not keep the machine running, so Father Morrison hooked up to New Westminster across the street, and traffic was diverted all that day. But Our Lady of Mercy Parish Church was built and dedicated by His Excellency, Archbishop Duke, on Sunday, October 15th, 1944.
I was married in the parish. We were married, my husband and I, Gerard Lemieux, in the old Our Lady of Mercy Church. And we raised a family of 9 children. And so all of them were baptized in the old church. They made their first communion in their old church, and they all went to Our Lady of Mercy School, except the oldest one went to St. Genevieve because there was no school here yet.
It's a full church because it's a small church, and I still knew even the old-timers now, the Gastaldos, and some of these ladies. When I go to Our Lady of Mercy now, I still recognize those people who went to that small church.
When I started coming to this parish, it was in the old church where you had to go down the stairs into the church. Father McKinnon was the priest at that time.
I belong to Our Lady of Mercy Parish. I belonged to Mercy since 1971. And the church congregation was not that big. It was a very small congregation at that time. There was a basement church here facing Kingsway. It was a small church. And Father Dickinson, Arthur Dickinson, was my first pastor. He hired me to teach. So I started teaching grade 6 here in 1971.
We had Father McKinnon, and he had gone to Peru, and when he came back, I have to tell you that, he always had a garden, and he built a potato growing thing out of rubber tires. Have you ever seen that?
And then usually on Sundays, after the Mass, Father right away go to his factory and then he will say, Peter, get some of my vegetable here, the tomatoes, the green beans, he always has lots of those in his garden at the back of the house.
39 years we are here, and this has been our parish from the time we came. Our Lady of Mercy
Our
Parish.
Lady Mercy
Yes.
Parish, yeah.
Yes. In this church we came to know the first priest who was here was Father Dickinson. Yes.
Yeah.
And with him we got along well. We explained to him our situation, how we came from the Congo, which is now called Zaire. We had come here because we were business people in that country, but the government there, the Congolese government, took away all our businesses, our assets, everything that we had, monies in the bank.
Seven homes?
Yes, we had 7 homes, everything, and they took away everything, they nationalized it. So we came here just with a little money what they gave us for the plane and to come here, and that's how we landed here without anything. We have 7 children, and so when we came here, we had no furniture, no nothing. But this Our Lady of Mercy Church, the
We had
parish
no
priest,
food
yes,
too. We had no
yeah.
food.
But the priest was here, and the nuns. At that time, we had sisters here.
The Mercy Sisters were here.
Yes, and they helped us with some of the food, helped
for
us
our
with
children.
different other things, helped our children get into the schools and everything. And that's how we started our life here in Canada. So the bottom line is, you may have wealth, you may have this, but if you haven't got God in your life,
Yes.
and if you don't have your people around you, family and friends and all, life is very difficult. But with God's help, He blessed our families, our relatives, everyone will eventually think. And life is peaceful. You might not have all the wealth in the world, but what you have your daily bread and butter, that's more than enough.
And one of my fondest memories of the basement church was, I think it was the last Sunday Mass before the building was torn down. It was in the fall, and I think it was a Thanksgiving Mass, and the walls were actually painted. Somebody had gone in and painted trees and flowers and leaves on the walls of the church, and to me there was, I don't know if there was corn stalks in there and hay bales, but maybe that's my imagination, but I recall it looking so festive with a bounty of Thanksgiving, and that was our final Mass in the basement church. It was a very moving time in more ways than one for us to see the beauty and the thanksgiving of the parish.
The Fathers of Mercy were replaced by diocesan priests in 1960, with Father Donald Campbell being the new pastor. Over the years, parishioners worked and saved and prayed for a permanent church and rectory. But as the years passed by, they grew tired and discouraged, and the dream of a permanent church was beginning to fade. A spark was needed, and in 1979, Father McKinnon had the flint. With fundraising stepped up and cost-saving measures increased, the parishioners soon realized the first major step towards their new church in February 1981. With morale boosted, there was new hope. They skeptically began looking over plans. And in 1986, when word was officially received that the long-awaited construction of a permanent church would begin, many found it hard to believe.
Everybody tried to work hard to get a new church, which now we're happy to have it. It was difficult, but now we have a good result. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And the old church, it was not too good. It was like a basement,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, it's supposed to be a basement and build a church on top of it. That's what they told us when we came.
But the time went by and everything was changed. The mind being changed. It's not quite was proper for so many years later. The basement to build something on top was not proper to build. It wasn't. So after many years of trying, this will be we got, which is it looks pretty nice.
And then they decided that they were going to build the new church, so we had Mass in the gym, which was, I think it was a year or more than a year we had Mass in the gym, which was a little noisy, but it was fine. I've seen a lot of changes in the parish and the people coming to the church, and there's certainly a lot more different cultures in the parish, which has made it very interesting.
So out of the rubble of the old Rose, a striking new complex with high peaks and sweeping roof lines, a proud testament of the tenacity and faith of its determined parishioners and those who serve them. Finally, after 46 years, the permanent church of Our Lady of Mercy was blessed on June 20th, 1987, by His Excellency Archbishop James Carney. 2 years later, the bell tower was completed, and the bell of St. Mary, cast in Vittorio Veneto, Italy, was blessed by Father Terence Bileski on December 24th, 1989.
I recall that I was the pastor of Our Lady of Mercy Parish from 1989 until 1994. I must say I liked the church very much. I liked the red brick color, you know. I think there was a good, solid feeling there. And to me it had a certain warmth to it, you know, with the red brick, you know. And seemed so spacious compared, I thought, compared to other churches, you know. A lot of good people there and good helpers, you know, men and women in the different ways of maintaining the place, and readers and Eucharistic ministers and things like that, eh? And that's certainly gratifying as a pastor, to have people who show that loyalty to the parish, you know, and give of themselves in different ways.
I remember when the little church was turned down, Larry supplied the plywood because he used to work in the Richmond plywood mill.
Plywood for the new church.
Yeah.
For the new church, now it was donated by Larry.
And after we delivered a load of plywood, a few weeks later, Father come down to our house and said, "Can I have another one?" Another load. So we delivered 2 loads of plywood.
I remember when I moved into this parish as a pastor, and also this is my first parish as a new pastor. I didn't know much, but the people in this community is so great, so dedicated and very friendly. They support me greatly. And from this parish, I learned a great deal how to become a good pastor.
Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus, from my heart. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus, from my heart.
It's a privilege for me as being a pastor from 2005 till 2012. We have to thank all the people of this parish for the last 75 years and more. They have been day in and day out, coming to profess their faith and become the witness of the faith to the younger generation. So it is a task now for us, young families, to continue to make this beautiful occasion a test of our own faith, where important things are required is our commitment to God, the commitment to give our time to Him, to come to worship together, to be as wonderful parishioners is to get involved and belong to the church. Every family, every person is important to the parish.
And this has always been our place of worship ever since. A lot of people tell me that I should be moving because I live closer to St. Peter's, but this is home to me and always will be, you know, it's my church.
For the past almost 40 years, it's been a big change in this parish. Now you can see that our parish is beautiful, big, and lots of parishioners that are working together. And I think that is the main purpose of this church, to be together and work together for the common good of the church, right?
I would like to thank every parishioner here who has welcomed us, made us feel at home, a warm welcome to us as new parishioners, as a new deacon to this parish.
I'm also new here, accompanying Ken to this parish. It's a very beautiful church, particularly the entrance. There's a spacious and beautiful garden here. I like to sit here and meditate.
We've been at this parish for 2 years now. Since we got married, we were looking for a parish to stay with, and we got Father Nicholas to bless our house. And from there, we were really hooked on him and just how caring and loving he was to his fellow parishioners.
We enjoy coming to this church. There's a lot of good sense of community, whether you're new or you've been in the parish for a long period of time. Everyone is so welcoming and has a good sense of serving the parish, and we feel like a family here. And
it's true. And I think that's what it is about that family aspect as well. We wanted to really be part of it more. So myself, I'm serving as in the Knights of Columbus with this parish, and Sherry and I are both Eucharistic ministers for this parish at the 9 o'clock Mass. So it's been very beneficial and very fruitful for us as a family, and just in our spiritual nourishment and our spiritual growth.
My school is Our Lady of Mercy.
Our Lady of Mercy Parish provided us this warmth and friendship, and we really feel a part of a community. I'm now a member of the Knights of Columbus. Thanks to Father Nicholas, I'm a Eucharistic minister, and I really enjoy coming to church here. The people are great. It's been a great experience, and we look forward to many more happy years in this church and this parish.
We moved here in 2009, and our daughter Michaela was born in 2010. The parish has grown on us as a family. Having no family out here, we've met the wonderful parishioners who introduced us to other parishioners, and it's been a wonderful experience. We would love to continue being parishioners of Our Lady of Mercy wherever we go. If we may have to move houses, I'm sure Our Lady of Mercy would always be our parish. And thanks to Father Nicholas, we have grown so much in our faith, much more here than when we were in our home country. And I think that's a special calling from our Lord, that we are here in this country under the shepherd and the parish of Our Lady of Mercy.
Your parish has been on an exciting journey, a pilgrimage of faith for 75 years. Yours was a humble beginning. They say the site was originally a swamp that had to be filled in. But since its beginning in 1941, your parish family has grown and flourished. Now, more than ever, the parish family is being asked to go beyond itself, to reach out, to evangelize, and to bring the good news of Jesus' gospel to others.
Santa Maria, Madre di Dio, prega per noi
salve María, llena eres de gracia, el Señor es contigo, bendita tú eres entre todas las mujeres y bendito es el fruto de tu vientre Jesús.
Santa María, Madre de Dios, ruega por nosotros los pecadores, ahora y en la hora de nuestra muerte. Amén.
Dios te salve María, llena eres de gracia, el Señor es contigo, bendita tú eres entre todas.
This procession makes me strong in my faith, and it is so beautiful to see the whole family come together, especially in our society right now. It is so hard for the family to come together, and our world also is so secular right now. So it is nice to remind people, by doing the procession outside, remind people that there is God, and this God is love us so much, and He wants us and to be happy, and that's why He give us Himself to come to the world and to follow. So may this procession will bring a lot of joy and blessing and to our parish and also for our society.
Amen. Je vous salue Marie, pleine de grâce. Le Seigneur est avec vous. Vous êtes bénie entre toutes les femmes, et Jésus, le fruit de vos entrailles, est béni. Sainte Marie, Mère de Dieu, priez pour nous pauvres pécheurs, maintenant et à l'heure de notre mort. Amen.
You have many organizations, many bodies, many groups, a wonderful school, each of which contributes to this great undertaking of yours during this Jubilee Year of Mercy, to bring God's mercy to the people of the parish, but also to the people who are not yet members, or perhaps never will be members, of Our Lady of Mercy Parish. You began on a solid foundation, the foundation that we know is Jesus Christ, and you have continued to build on Him, on His Word, and on His sacraments. I congratulate you, and I offer you my heartfelt prayers that your parish family will continue to flourish for another 75, another 175 years. May God, in His goodness and in His mercy, bless you, and may Our Lady of Mercy always be at your side.
We look back with all the blessing we received from the past, with our former parishioners who built up this community. Now we look forward how much more we can do to make this community to become a better and more vibrant and more effective community of faith, the Eucharistic Church, the Eucharistic community.